Okay, welcome back. So I've taken my pastry out of the freezer. It's chilled, but it's still pliable, so I can still squeeze that down. Now I've got a nice clear bench here. I have a little bit of greaseproof which I've put on the bench. It's not necessary. The only thing with me using the greaseproof is it means I can actually use a little less flour because it won't stick to the bench underneath. Still going to use some flour because I'm going to roll this, and obviously to roll it I need my rolling pin not to stick to the pastry. For the dish that I've got here, for this flan ring, this quantity is giving me quite a lot of pastry. I don't think I'm going to need all that, so I'm going to half it. And I'll put that to one side. I'll wrap that up, put that back in the fridge if I don't need it. I can maybe make another quiche another day. I'm looking for a pastry of about pound coin thickness. Okay, it's a safe measurement to go by. Pound coin thickness. It is a round dish. I want a round piece of pastry. I don't want rectangular, so I'm going to start off round as well. A little bit of flour on the pin. Roll it one way, then I'm going to quarter turn it. I'm going to roll it exactly the same the other. I'm going to quarter turn it again. By constantly quarter turning, what you're ensuring is you are stretching it evenly. You may be going north to south, but by turning it, every way is going north to south. Okay, so a little bit at a time. There's gluten in this, and you want the gluten to work naturally. If you try it too hard, too fast, the gluten will react and it'll start to pull back in. Keep it a nice even thickness. You can see that that's lifting quite easily. If it starts to stick, a little bit more flour underneath. If it starts to stick on top, a little bit more flour on the pin. Okay, it's about managing the pastry. Now, I've gone from one hand moving it to now two hands because I don't want the pastry to rip. That was starting to stick a little bit, so I've just put a little bit more flour on it. I'm just turn that over because it was starting to stick on the bottom. So by turning it over, it means I'm putting my floured side on the bottom and I can flour the top side. Make sure you get right to the edges because you don't want to get any fat edges, which will happen. And because I'm getting to the size that I want, I'm just going to make it into that circle. So I'm now starting to go northeast, southwest, southeast, northwest. Nearly to the size I want. I do want a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that on there, but I'm at the consistency and thickness that I want. I'm going to bring that over a little bit more to that side. That's where it needs to be. It's a little bit thick over here, so I'm going to bring that down there. Now I'll measure the tin again. Now I have to allow for this lip, so it's not just about it fitting the base, because obviously it's going to have sides on it. So make sure that you have enough. You want it thick enough to hold, because you're going to put a liquid in this, so you want it thick enough to hold, but not too thick that it will be undercooked. I'm just making sure that that's free from all edges, and it is. Now I'm going to manage this into the tin. I'll lift this back into the picture so you can see it a little better. Now it's a short crust, so it's fairly easy to work with. may be that I'm a little short here. I don't know if you can, there you can see that better on there. I'm a little short here. My pastry hasn't come high enough up. But what I can do is I can take a piece from here where I've got loads and I can fill it in. You need to make sure that your pastry does come to the top of the flan ring, because you're going to be putting a custard in here, a savoury custard. And if it's too low, then the custard will go down the side and you'll never get it out of the flan ring. Particularly if you've got one like this, which is a ceramic flan ring. I have some scissors. Bear with me 1 second whilst I get them, because I don't want to be cutting this with my knife. I'm just going to trim a little bit of pastry off, and I'm going to do some DIY on here. And I'm going to bring this, make sure it's stuck in. When this is filled, you'll never see that. Okay, so like you can, there you go. Yes, you can see it's a little bit patched, but like I say, once the filling's in, you'll never see it. And it's what's on the outside that would be visible to your customer. So I'm going to go around. I've got another one here which is a little low. I'm going to take some of this, which is lovely and high. I'm just going to pop that on there. When you're doing this, don't pinch it too tight to the sides, because that will make it stick. When it's baked and you're trying to get it out, that's the bit that will stick onto the side, and that's the bit that could possibly break. Now, I'm going to leave this at these heights, because once it's baked, I can trim it later. I'm gently pressing it into the flute so it takes the shape of the dish, of the tin. Okay, now I don't have any baking beads at home, and I need to blind bake this. The idea of baking beads in is, you can bake it in the oven before you put the filling in, and the baking beads will press to the side and keep your edges up. But what I can do, you will need to make a cartouche, which is obviously, you've done them in session before. So you're folding up your greaseproof paper, and you're making a rough circle. So you need to make a cartouche that you can put in to your ring like that, and a tea plate. If you've got a tea plate at home, pop that in the centre, and then that can go into the oven and bake. About 20 minutes you're going to blind bake this for. Then you're going to bring it out, you're going to let it cool down a little bit, remove the plate, remove the greaseproof, and then we're going to fill it. And I'll show you how to fill it once this is baked. Okay, I'll see you in approximately 20 minutes.